Welcome, welcome, one and all. I hope you are well. It's me here. I forgot the transition there. I hope you are all well. I hope you are good. Day, Monday, episode 12 of the Stadia Monday Chat with me, Clive Illenden. I shall be your host, and I just realised I always do, and I shall take you up. And I hadn't thought of one, so I'm going to make one up on the spot now. I'm Clive Linden, and I'll be your host. Take the ski chair up Mount Stadia. Oh well, there's a new one. I hope you're all good. People in the chat already. Jerome was straight in there earlier on. Very keen, Jerome. Creed Odyssey, fantastic. And have plenty of fun till Valhalla. I haven't yet purchased it yet. Take these off. The reason I've got these on is because I haven't quite purchased it yet. I'm tempted though in the sales and stuff to get it. That's something to look to. And so I'm definitely going to be doing that. David Handley, yes, quiet weekend. For those of you that don't know, I did 19 hours, as it turned out. It was 21 hours of PUBG for charity. So I did 19 hours to stream. The idea was to part of British Red Cross Operation COVID-19, and the idea was to just stream 19 hours for charity over May, and I decided I'd do it over the long weekend. And so DF and PUBG partner and I, we just played PUBG on and off over the weekend, and we clocked up 21 hours in the end. We raised £150, which was the main target. It's just a random thing I thought on Thursday night. I thought, why don't we do that? And we raised £150. So I was very chuffed that we reached the target I set. I wasn't too sure about it, because it's not this channel. This channel, it's 1,500 subscribers. Not flexing. But my other channel, my gaming channel, has got about 73 subscribers or something like that. Not very much anyway. So but we just thought it's a quiet weekend. I haven't got much else to do. Why not game? And PUBG plays lovely on Stadia, and we can talk about that a little bit later as well. But anyway, I did it, and we raised the money. We might do another charity thing later. When the time comes. It's quite fun doing that, actually. I mean, what better way to play games? And yeah, David was in there. Dazzadini popped in. Jerome, Rock was in there. Lots of people came in. It's really nice to see people who pop in. And yes, after about 19 hours, a chicken dinner was served. Wasn't quite the way I would have liked it to have been served, but who cares? Hey, David, thank you very much. No problem, David. That's okay. Thank you for that. I'll leave a link if anybody is interested in I'll dig it out later. I think the thing's still there. Yes, exactly. We'll do a Generation X charity bash. Of course we will, Rock. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, yeah. So I use something called Tiltify, actually. While we're here, I'll talk about it. And they're just like a Just Giving, but they're specifically aimed at streamers. So, you choose your cause, whatever it is. Get it here. You choose the cause that you want to support. And they'll give you an overlay for your game stream and stuff like that. And then just like Just Cause, people click on the link, you share, and they donate the money on the special clause, and Tiltify do all the processing and collect it all and all that kind of stuff. So it's quite good, quite easy, but it's there's not much. I'm not one for doing a charity run or anything like that, but play games all weekend. Yeah, I'll do that. So that's what we did. If I've still got the anyway. So if you're interested, there's plenty of footage up there. But we got in the end. We got the chicken dinner, so I was very pleased with that. But as I said, it wasn't. Bear with me here. I'm just trying to find the dashboard. Trying to find a link. There we are. Sorry, I was just trying to find the link. Anyway, there's a link there. Anyway, but yeah, what better to do? You know, I can sit around on my butt playing games all day, and if I can raise charity, then money for charity, why not? So that's really cool. Remember, if you're new here, of course, please hit that, and don't forget, even if you're not new, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe. Let me know what you've been playing. Obviously, I've been playing a lot of PUBG. But also a lot of Zombie Army 4. And we're going to go through, we're going to be talking about some of the new games that were announced and released. I've got some videos lined up and we can talk about those. Let me know what you're looking forward to there. We'll talk about all of the news. Mariko, of course, yes. Secret Identity, Yoshida. And actually, if it wasn't for Mariko, who gainly went the whole 21 hours with me, through the game, and in fact, in fairness, won the chicken dinner. I was like, it was like that for me. It was like being in the cup final and then getting an injury in the first 10 minutes and being substituted. I still got a winner's medal, but somehow it wasn't quite the same. I wasn't on the pitch at the end of the match, but Yoshida was, and somehow survived. I think by default, everyone else died in the poisonous cloud, and Yoshida survived, and we got the chicken dinner. I'll take it. I'll take it. Because I had so many second places, so many last man standing, me against two people, me one-on-one, mano a mano, as they say. It gets so tense, and I choked every time. For some reason, I didn't quite make it, and I just thought I was going to be the nearly man. So I got that monkey off the back eventually, 19 hours, thanks to Mariko Yoshida. So much relief there. It was the singing, Dazzadini. Yes, the singing put everybody off, and we distracted them. Yeah, lost words during. So PUBG after work, lost words during work hours. Very good, David. Love that. Super. Winner, winner. Yeah, exactly. I feel a bit more confident now. We, as I say, monkey off the back. We could do that. But a lot of Zombie Army. Let me know what else. Anybody playing the Turing test or whatever it's called, the Turing. Anyway, have anybody been playing that? I played a bit on the Xbox. It's a great sort of puzzler game if you're into puzzling and stuff like that. Very good. But anyway, as we're all here, we're all gathered, as I say. Let's talk about some of the news. So before we get on the games, I just want to talk about wireless control. At last has come. Chrome browser. Has anybody noticed a difference? I don't know whether I have. I think I have, but it could just be psychological because I sort of know. And really, can you tell the difference? Because we're talking like absolute milliseconds difference. But it's just nice to have the freedom. I already found that, you know, straight away. It's funny how these little things you don't think are going to affect you that much. I know a lot of people wanted wireless control on the browser, but I was thinking, I'm fine with it wired. But actually, no, it makes a big difference just, you know, being able to walk around. You know, if got the kettle on, I can go over and, you know, have the headphones on and take this over to the kettle and stuff and come back and play and talk just like you would on Xbox. So that's quite useful. The only thing I did find, though, is when I stream, the computer can't find my audio. And I'm wondering whether it's because the audio is being sent direct by Wi-Fi to here and then to my headphones. Whereas when I stream, I have to plug it in. But that's just an issue for streamers, and I was going to ask in the streaming community whether they'd found that. Cool. It may be well my computer set up. The question about who was asking? Jerome, we're asking about my computer. Yes, thank you very much. It is. I'm loving it. My new setup. Who else we've got here? Liam Parameter. Hello, Zombie Army. Yeah, it's great. It's a great game because the levels, the chapters, for each level within the chapters aren't too long. So you can just drop in, drop out, and play it. I've not played the co-op on it though. I've not played multiplayer on Zombie Army yet. I've just done the story campaign. Tazadini jumped into Ghost Recon. Looking forward to jumping into that. Hello, Alucard. Hello, how are you? Random noob. Of course, I was about to say, have you measured it? I measured the difference the day wireless became available and saw literally zero difference. If there was, it's extremely difficult to tell. I think you're probably right. I think it's more the convenience. Well, I'll tell you what it is. The difference, there's probably a difference between if you try to connect by Bluetooth, maybe. Because wired, you're pretty quick anyway. So there's probably no difference other than just the convenience of having it. I don't know, but yeah, it just to me the benefit is more the fact that you can be a bit more mobile and not be literally tethered to a computer, whatever. So that's just quite useful. But that's the big news. Look at that, 12 views, 12 likes. You're all super, absolutely. You're breathtaking. No, you're breathtaking, all of you. Amazing. Thank you very much. So all good here. Let's talk about the games that were announced. I think we had the Xbox conference, not games conference, but game announcements from third parties, and I thought it was quite amusing. It was quite interesting to see those. It wasn't particularly mind blowing or anything like that. It didn't blow us away, but they were just sort of saying, here's some third party games coming, and it was interesting that obviously on some games Xbox have got the marketing money. So there was, and I had the word in my head now. I forgot what it's called. An embargo. There was an embargo on obviously some announcements or release of some videos, because as soon as, for instance, Assassin's Creed Valhalla was, I think it was that or another title, as soon as it was announced for Xbox, immediately Stadia released a video on Twitter or whatever it was. So it was quite interesting. Games Showcase. Thank you for that. That's a good way of describing it. Alucard, thank you. Yeah, so there was obviously some embargo on some of those game announcements, and as soon as Xbox revealed the gameplay, or mostly trailers as we turned out, they were in there. But anyway, let's have a look at some of the games. We'll talk through it. Just let me know if any of this is too loud. Well, and I'll turn down the sound. Let's just go to there, and here we go. Let me know if that's too loud, and I'll just turn it down, and we can just go through. So Valhalla. I didn't need to hear it. Godless barbarians. Excuse me. Excuse me. So yeah, this. I mean, obviously, this is a massive cutscene, really. So there was meant to be. Oh, that's because. Sorry. I always forget. I do one thing and then I forget. There you go. Sorry. That's better. They murder and kill now you can blindly. See. Sorry, everybody. I always forget to do the transition. Yeah, I've got to turn. It's because I'm using one screen. That's my excuse. I need another screen so I can do all my behind-the-scenes magic on one screen and then make sure I get all the transitions. There we go. There's nothing wrong with the face, though, Ocado. You know, what's wrong with this? Look at it. Look at it. Portrait. Don't know, portrait of what? Potato. Anyway. So, yes. Obviously an amazing cutscene. I think there was meant to be some gameplay in a video I found earlier from the Xbox release. They demonstrated some gameplay, but it does look fantastic, and everybody sort of says, you know, Odyssey is so full of it's such a large game. It's symmetrical. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, no. Thank you, Rock. Yeah, it's such a large game, but it does look great, and we know that everybody says Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks amazing on Stadia, and it's a great showcase for Stadia, so this looks really good. I'm definitely going to have to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey beforehand, I think, just to get into the swing of things, stuff like that. But let me know in the chat below there if you are you know, you're looking forward to this. Is this your sort of thing? You know, just let me know on that. Let's move on to the next one here. So the other, this is quite exciting as well because I didn't know. I think nobody knew about this. This is a brand new game. In fact, it's a brand new IP, as they say in the biz. A brand new intellectual property here, Chorus. Somebody mentioned it earlier. Yes, Alucard, you saying there looks fun. It does, from Deep Silver as well, who brought us, publisher who brought us Metro Exodus.
Now we live in an age of unprecedented.
Now, it looks, I mean, the cutscenes look amazing, but then it's like, that's okay, that's a story bit, but what about the actual gameplay? And I always sort of struggle a little bit with flying games. Rock says, I'm looking more forward to this. Cyberpunk 77, controversial. You heard that here first, ladies and gentlemen. Rock putting it out there. Whoa. Odyssey, incredible graphics, says Jerome. Voice, facial expressions, top notch. Chorus is control plus elite dangerous. Yeah. Oh. So is it all flying, Alucard? Is it all flying, apart from the cutscenes? I mean, is the actual gameplay all flying and shooting? I struggle a bit with flying and shooting games, but it looks amazing. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that, the game that they demonstrated, the first game they did for the Xbox Generation X. Or about Madness. What was it called? Her face, anyway, with the tattoos and the detail.
Peggy 3.
I can't remember. Anyway. Oh yeah, Dirt 5 here. We've gone straight into Dirt 5, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Codemasters are, you know, I mean, when I was back in the day, when I had my years in the games industry, Codemasters even back then were, you know, that's what they did. And I remember forget his name, the managing director of Codemasters. He's a nice guy. That's what they did. Just develop the racing engine, and they've been doing that for years and years and years and years and years and years, haven't they? Developing, perfecting the racing engine. And we already know that some of their titles, you know, the Formula One and stuff are coming to Stadia. So Dirt 5, there's a bit of a Horizon 5 about that. Not Horizon 5, Horizon 7 about it, isn't it? Which I quite enjoyed on the Xbox. So that was Dirt 5. I'm looking forward to that. Let me know. Hello, Isaac Newton. How are you? Hilarious. Loved your art video, Rock. Yes, we did. You check out Rock's talented artist there. I'm a young lad, giving it all up. Right. Okay. This is a big one then. Rainbow Quarantine. The micro machines, random new micro machines on the Mega Drive. Yeah, they've just basically found their niche. Well, more than a niche. And they've just spent, there's a company that spent years and years just developing the racing engine, a racing development engine, perfecting it. Micro Machines PS1, says Nakamura, yeah. That was great. Was that the one over when you ran over the kitchen table, over the breakfast things, and over the plates and the forks?
We found him. Take him.
Jerome says, interested in Dirt 5, but Grid and Crew 2, a lot of great racing already. There is, exactly, yeah. What's the next one I've got on my list here? I think that was it. I think that was I've got another one coming up, we'll see. This is not coming till next year, though, I don't think. And Chorus as well is 2021. So, hello there, Michael John. How are you, man? Good to see you. Nakinu, good to see you as well. Yeah, so Chorus and this Quarantine aren't coming till 2021. So that's a bit of a wait. What's this one? Okay. Oh yeah, Jotun. Jotun next. I love the art style in this. I mean, I'm not sure it's my cup of tea, but then I think I said that a bit about the SteamWorld games, and you know, you get into them. The art style I like. I love these sort of, you know, like sort of book illustration style, art style, very distinct style. They pick a style and they sort of stick with it. It's got a nice art style. Anybody looking forward to? These are older games, though, I believe. Anybody played these? Have they got these? Very well. Again, the Valhalla edition, or Valhalla. Thunder Lotus. So you know, it's funded by Canadian media, so you know it's an indie. Hey Chase, how are you? Hello.
Rated E10
Chase,
for ages 10
how
and
are
up.
you? Thank you for stopping by to say hello. We always appreciate it when you pop in there. It's always good to see you. Played Jotun, says Jerome. Didn't finish it. And the other one then is Sundered. Again, another really distinct art style. You know, thinking of kind of that Lost World stuff. But this here, as well, has got that, I want to say, Macintosh. The Scottish artist or designer, I think I'm thinking. Rennie Mackintosh. There's a certain Rennie Mackintosh style. You know what I'm talking about. You're probably thinking, no, you're wrong, or yeah, you're right. But there's a certain art style to it. It's very distinct. I love that about indie games. Whoa, Michael John, for your charity matches. Much appreciated, dude. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to donate that. Thank you for that. I will donate that to the charity. Much appreciated.
Will I resist?
So let me know. Anybody looking forward to these ones? As I say, they're slightly older games, but it doesn't really matter, you know, because of their art style and the style of game there are, that kind of platforming style game. It doesn't really matter that they're maybe 2 or 3 years old, because we're not really looking at any sort of technical achievement. But it's good to say more indies coming on. I think that's all the main games there. Yeah. The next one I had was Windjammers, and we've seen that. We know that's coming out. There we go. So, there we go. Could be future pro games. I think so. Those are the sort of games you can imagine. A bit like, maybe not both of them, but a bit like the SteamWorld games, where eventually all 3 of them, haven't they, ever ended up being pro games eventually. So yeah, definitely it builds out that kind of indie library. Plus, we know the Chorus, which is a brand new IP. We know, you know, Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, massive franchise, and Cyberpunks, even Dirt Rally to a certain, I'd say it's a AA, if not a AAA game. It's certainly a AA racing game. So we've got the AAA. We're getting a nice big mix. Yo, Michael John again. Woo, thank you, Mo, for that. Appreciate it. Really appreciate that. Thank you, guys. You don't have to use the chats. It's really appreciated when you do. Help support the channel, and we appreciate that. Now, I saw, I was watching a video this morning, and unfortunately I didn't, I won't show it here, but it's from the Wave, what was it called? That skateboarding. Let me just have a quick look, actually. It might be in my history here. Bear with me here. Let's just have a look. So it was the Wave Break game, I think it is, that I was thinking of. Watched a lot of videos today. Oh, ESO. So there was somebody posted something about ESO getting a certificate or having some Stadia reference to it recently. Wave Break. That's it. Thank you, Random Noob. I was looking at it. I'm just going to try and find this video of it today. So somebody, the publisher was doing some gameplay of it. And it wasn't really on my radar, but where is my history? History, here we are. See what I've been watching. There we are. Let's get some of this going.
Kind of plan ahead of time as to when you want to actually use some of your special tricks.
Transition, here we are.
When you're in an area, when you see enemies.
So let me just take the sound down a bit there. So this was a developer here
go into that bullet
talking about
players.
Wave Break and doing the playthrough, and I was watching this, and I was thinking, are you off there, Michael John? Good night. Thank you for popping by, and thank you for the super chats and stuff. Really, really appreciated. Yo, Rick, how are you? Good to see you, man. So this was a developer talking about all the different things you can do on Wave Break, and it suddenly reminded me of those old school sort of Tony Hawk stroke. Obviously, there was that Nintendo one. What was it called? Where you a game with a jet ski, but it's a sort of more of a skateboarding than a jet ski type game. It's sort of skateboarding on water type style. But it also reminded me of one of my favorite games on PlayStation. I want to say 2, which I might feature on Generation X Gaming Club tomorrow night. Don't forget. I think was it 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Generation X Gaming Club with The Rock and me, The Rock. Rock. Anyway, and it's SSX Tricky. Who remembers SSX Tricky?
We understand some people might have
Where you get loads of, it's very arcadey, and you get loads of points for stunts. There's not much stunts here in this section. Trust me, earlier on he was doing spins and racking up points, and then your point bar racks up, and when you get your point bar, you can do extra. Anyway, here we go. See that sort of extra stunts, and then it's also shooting in it. It's like a Stadia Mario Kart. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it depends on this. It's more a sort of a stunt thing, more an SSX Tricky or a Tony Hawk's type thing with arcadey style tricks. SSX Cool had on N64. Yeah, I just remember with the Run DMC. It's tricky. It's tricky. And every time he did a stunt, like that, just like they're doing now in the demo here, I just really liked it. And you get your power up points, but it also the characters, the boats, they have weapons, so you compete against someone else and you can shoot them at the same time. So actually, this could be a real fun game. Actually, as I say, I stumbled over this playthrough from the developer, and it's a first on Stadia. It's one of those sort of limited time Stadia exclusives, so on that basis could be pro. I think the Stadia limited time Stadia exclusives are usually pro. No, Lost Words wasn't. I think I bought that. Yeah, but you never know. Bit Californian games as well. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Let me know what you think. Anybody looking forward to so that was from Funtronic Labs. Back to my single. There we are. That was from Funtronic Labs. And that was the developer there. Check out the video. I'll leave a link for you to go and check it out. Mariko says, I like this. Yeah, no, it looks a fun. If you're into the Tony Hawk or those sort of SSX Tricky or the I want to say Sean Wright. It's not Sean Ryder snowboarding game I had on the Wii, and you could use the Wii balance board. I mean, a snowboarding game with a Wii balance board was cool. I loved the skiing game on the balance. The fitness one, the Wii Fit. There was a skiing thing on that using the balance board. That was always cool. Dave Windle says, not my thing, but it's cheap. Yeah, I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I think that's fair enough. And I think the good thing now is, although I claim all the games, there's loads I haven't played yet, because we're getting to that stage now where there's enough games to keep you occupied. And when you've got something like PUBG, which is a real returner, you just drop in and play, and there's no campaign to finish and complete. You just keep playing. I think we're at that point where the library is beginning to sort of fill out. Liam says, I don't think I'll get that game, but would play if it was on Pro. That's the thing about Pro, isn't it? And the same a bit like with the Xbox Games Pass. It gives you, there was a Sherlock Holmes game. I wouldn't have bought that Sherlock Holmes game but on Xbox Game Pass, but since it was on the Games Pass, I thought I'd give it a go. Yes, please. Much appreciated. And that's the same with the Pro. You know, I wouldn't have played SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh, but I'm glad I did start playing. It was a lot of fun because it reminded me of, as I say, Paper Mario with that turn-based system and the card games. So there's a real variety of games we're seeing, and we just know that more games are going to be dropping all the time, and more announcements are coming. As I say, over the next month or so, we're bound to see more games. That Sherlock Zero Games. Are you talking? So is that the one? Because I think it was a good game actually. I love on the Xbox Game Pass recently, the recent one. I'd not played it before, but there's a bit where you go into his brain and you try to link the clues, and then if you link enough clues, more links light up, and then you sort of then make a decision at the end whether the guy was guilty or not guilty. Don't always get it right. Yeah, 450 games out. Yeah, exactly, Jerome. No, I mean, like like any good games library, it builds. PlayStation 5 had to start somewhere, and obviously the benefit of PlayStation 4 and an Xbox, had already a history of previous console IPs before, and then they become returners. Whether it's a FIFA or a Rainbow Six or whatever it is, Call of Duty, the next iteration of that. Google are just beginning to build that, and they'll get into that swing, as we know, and we've got some great big games coming, and it's something to look forward to. I want to touch briefly on PUBG though. Let me know if you played PUBG. Let me know if you've got a winner chicken dinner. Say it doesn't matter if it's like cup finals. Nobody remembers cup finals if they're boring, but they remember the winners. That's all that matters. But let me know if you've been playing PUBG anyway. So there's been a bit of controversy about PUBG because at the same time it launched on Stadia, there was also a patch in which the developer added bots. Now, the reason behind it to add bots to the game is because their argument was that the skill level of people who absolutely grind out PUBG was so high that for beginners who come in and you wander around like a deluded idiot for a while, trust me, I know, I've been that person, I still am that person, and then you get shot in the back of the head and game over. Sometimes it's a one-shot game. Literally, you can be like hiding in the field, bang, headshot, game over. And if that keeps happening for beginners, then the developer feels, okay, we're not going to recruit new players. So that's the main reason that they introduced bots. And I think bots are also introduced to Fortnite, and it's very controversial, especially to regular players. So a lot of people have been saying, "Oh God, it's Stadia's fault. It's Stadia's fault." So I'm not even going to entertain that notion, that conspiracy, because it's just a big pair of steaming. You know what I'm saying? It's crap, but people are always going to link two things together. The patch was just coincidental, and then I did see the tech writer for The Verge, Tom. Anyway, Rock will know what his name is. He was saying, "I just played Stadia and it's full of bots. The PUBG on Stadia and it was full of bots." And I thought, well, that's a bit. The point is, it's cross-play with console. So first of all, anyway, he said, "I just played." We worked out he's playing keyboard and mouse. Okay, it's cross-play with console. As a rule, console players are going to be playing on controller, and PUBG puts you in the groups. So if you play on keyboard and mouse on Stadia, you're going to be grouped with other keyboard and mouse players. Well, if it's cross-play with console, there is likely to be no keyboard and mouse players on console. I know you can plug a keyboard in, and of course, in the light there, too bright, the light there. This is my son. I can't pull it because of the leads. It's attached. There we are. This is my son's Ducky Mini 1-2 keyboard, whatever it's called. Anyway, and he likes to play Fortnite keyboard and mouse occasionally. So we bought a keyboard and it plugs into the Xbox. But generally, I said he's an outlier. He's not the norm. Most people play. Most people, obviously, on console, especially PlayStation, are going to play controller. So this journalist on The Verge was saying, "Oh, I just played PUBG on Stadia, and it was full of bots." And then we worked out, well, were you playing keyboard and mouse? And he goes, yeah. And I go, well, there you go. Not going to be enough. We know when a game doesn't have crossplay, either with PC or console, there's generally not enough people in a special battle royale. You've got to fill 60 to 100 places. Generally not enough players online in Stadia. I mean, we know the trouble we have with Destiny 2. So we worked that problem out with the journalist and said, in polite words, you're an idiot. Well, I certainly did. I said, use your common sense. It's, crossplay with consoles, therefore use a controller. Why did they make it, for keyboard and mouse? Well, eventually there'll be billions of Stadia players, and then they'll fill up the worlds with the keyboard and mouse matching will work out fine. But it's no reason to deny you to play keyboard and mouse, but it's recommended to play with a console. Yoshida, we know Yoshida got the chicken dinner on our behalf. Yes. I was told by Lord Kensal many times that I was just standing like a tree. Yeah, like a bot sometimes. But I can't, look, you got that chicken dinner for us, Yoshida, so I can't really complain. Anyway, the point is, so a lot of people have been associating the fact that there's so many bots in PUBG with its launch on Stadia, and it was the two things I don't think are connected. It was just a patch by the developer, and then in addition to that, they got the balance wrong. What's meant to happen is those lower down the ranks are more likely to be, if your matchmaking is not filling out, they'll fill it with bots. Those more experienced or higher, played the game a lot more, then the principle is they'll have less bots. But what was happening is the worlds were filling with bots. And in fairness to Tom from The Verge, there was an island. I don't know if you played PUBG, but there's a small sort of Middle Eastern desert island, very small island. The action happens really fast. It's a great one. But Yoshida and I ended up calling it Botland because it's just full of bots. And I got like a 6 kill streak, which for me on PUBG is extraordinary. And that's because that land, it fills up with bots. But, for beginners, it's great fun. And when you get down to the last 10, you're very unlikely to find any bots. And hey, I got shot by a couple of bots, so, But I think there is let me know what you think. Do games like that, should they have bots? Or maybe have one island for beginners, or restrict bots to just a certain level. And once you get above a certain level, then there are no more bots that can fill up your matchmaking. But below that level, then and then it eases beginners into the game, and maybe have an island which it has a higher percentage of bots. Call it Beginner's Island, yeah. That's just my my feeling, because it's a brutal game, PUBG. As I say, there's no, if you get a headshot and you don't know where it's from, it's over. And that's the nature of the game, and that's excitement. And equally, if you make it down to the point is you can hide, which is what we worked out to do, hide for a long, long time, get down to that last maybe 5, which happens so many times, or in my case, a few second places. And the tension is ridiculous. It really ranks up. And twice I was in a mano-a-mano battle for first place. When it was over, I was literally, the adrenaline was, my hands were like that, shaking with the adrenaline. It's such a cool game. Rock says, I prefer AI characters. I know, but it's a bit like shooting fish in a barrel, to be honest. And the way they make our characters difficult in a game, as far as I can tell, is either make them really hard to kill in terms of giving them lots of health, or making them jump from side to side really quickly. And in real life, the beauty of PUBG is it's a real sneaky game. Find a good place, hide, find a scope, and there is a certain satisfaction with shooting somebody running across the field with a scope of 500 meters, and then they're sort of stopping and then running the other way, and then you clip them again, and then they stop and run the other way, and they've no idea where the bullets are coming from. And the one thing about PUBG on Stadia is, it's 60 frames per second, which is better than the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, which is at 30 frames per second, I believe. And that makes a massive difference. And the draw distances, on my Xbox One, the draw distances, it struggled a bit. I can see absolute miles on Stadia in PUBG. Now, on the Xbox One X I played, I think it's slightly, graphically, it's just slightly clearer than Stadia, but the distance and everything is very, very similar. The other thing about, so talking about keyboard and mouse, actually, and back to that journalist, Tom, what's his name, from The Verge, I tested whether you can play PUBG on the Xbox with keyboard and mouse, and you can't, unlike Fortnite, in which you can. So again, even if people play with a keyboard and mouse on their Xbox, which is perfectly possible, you can't play PUBG. So if you're going to play PUBG on Stadia on keyboard and mouse, you will likely have a world full of bots. But if you're new to the game and keyboard and mouse is your weapon of choice, then, as I said before, I think it's a good way to learn the game. But eventually you're going to have to go mano a mano at the end with somebody, unless you're lucky, like we were, or like Yoshida was, and basically everybody died outside, in the radiation cloud, and she was the last woman standing, and we got the chicken dinner. That'll do. Anyway, there you go. That's my rant. Agreed about graphics via PUBG on the Xbox One X. Yeah, does it? The only difference is, the difference that we know that the video image is obviously on the Stadia is compressed, and so that vague. It's not quite as sharp. That's what I'm saying. I can still see a long way, but that regular complaint that maybe Digital Foundry makes, that the image is slightly sort of muddy on the Stadia, because it's the video is compressed and then uncompressed, as it were, and so you just lose a bit of quality. But that you're judging it against a 4K machine, that's got it effectively, driving it natively, as it were. So it's marginal, but yeah. But in terms of the frames per second, gotta love the PUBG on Stadia. Jonathan says, "Hi Clive, how's the new PC?" I tell you what, mate, the new PC is a dream. I don't know, I love it. I streamed for 19 hours or 21 hours over the weekend, and put my hand over it now. It's right now it's serving as a cooling fan. It stays so cool. It's got 4 fans in it. Yay, come on, Clive. No, not those fans. It's got 3 on the front and then 1 on the graphics card. And obviously, because I don't play games on it, I say I don't play, I'm not using the PC graphics card to drive the games, obviously, because I'm using Stadia. I only really bought it for content creation, for helping me edit my videos, and for streaming, which I wasn't sure it was going to do, but it streams a delight. I'm really pleased with it. And of course, most of that work is by the processor, not the graphics card. And the processor I've got a big enough processor, not a massive one, but a big enough to handle it quite competently. So there's no heat coming from the PC. Azadini says, if you want to run off like Johnny Rambo, you'll die real quick. Yeah, it ain't Apex. So sometimes you play Apex, you're playing a squad, and that squad will literally want to, go where the hot zone is. And unless you're Dr. Disrespect or Shroud or Summit 1G or something, you could jump. If you don't know who those are, don't worry about it. If you do, then great. You can jump into the hot zone and far away, whatever, and get all your kills. Or an Apex, when you're in a squad like that who want all the action. But unless you're really good at those PvP games, and I am not, I know what the benchmark is. I've seen my son play. I've seen my friend's son play. I've played with them. And when I might get, as I said before, on Destiny 2 in the Crucible, where I might end up getting maybe 2 kills, 3 kills. And then I look at the kill chart and they've got like 25 kills. And I just think, surely there's not enough people in the game to kill that many. You must have killed the same person twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. I don't know how they do it. But there's certain people we know that are amazing at PvP. But having said that, the thing about PUBG is you don't have to be amazing. Stay low. Basically stay alive until the last 10 if you can. And to a certain degree, if you're tactical, you've got a chance. And as I say, I ended up in a few situations. And then, as I say, to be honest, I choked mano a mano, made the wrong decisions. I forgot to make sure my gun was fully reloaded, or should have thrown a grenade and didn't. And you've just got to get into the practice of knowing what to do in those situations. In fact, going into the hot zone, I did see somebody talking about PUBG and getting good. Someone said, go into the hot zone and learn to kill people, and even if you're not going to, you die pretty early on, so that you can control yourself in that situation. So that's top advice if you want to get PvP. Get involved just to practice what you need to do in those sort of, so you can control your adrenaline and stuff. I live through the games. I'm absolutely in there. My adrenaline goes bonkers. I get so, as I say, when I got those second places afterwards, I was literally, my hands were shaking with adrenaline. I get too involved. I'm not one of these people who just, when I look through and look at the crosshair and just see, I'll move crosshair to object over there to shoot. I actually think I'm looking down the crosshair of a gun at a person. I'm shooting. I actually living the game, and I always think that lets me down. 2-man or 4-man squad. We won it as a 4-man squad. I was dead. So was the other guy. And then the other guy was absolutely worse than me at shooting. You're better off with a full squad. You are. Yoshida and I just played duos a lot, but we had more luck with the squads because they got your back sometimes. Apart from one guy who I was in a squad with randoms. And one guy just hit me over the head with a frying pan. He thought it was hilarious. And then I was lying down, and he came up. He was in my squad. He came up to where I was on a roof. He came up to me on the roof. And I saw him creeping up to me, and I saw him get his frying pan out. And I thought, you're going to whack me, aren't you? Again, just for the... And you can damage your own teammates. You can accidentally shoot your own friendly fire in him in PUBG. Anyway, I thought, you're going to whack me with the frying pan, aren't you? And so I got up, my character got up, and I stared at him, and I was literally saying, go on then, hit me with that frying pan and see what happens. So he hit me with the frying pan, and I shot him dead. So, Mariko says driving a car is hardest. I drive like Jason Statham out of Transport, mate. I love the cars. I do a J-turn, reverse sharp J-turn, get the hell out of there. I could talk about PUBG all night. But... Right, so we talked about the games. Talked about my PUBG. Anyway, everybody should have a go. It's a lot of fun, and we worked out the bots. So somebody was saying, it might have been Dazadini, I can't remember who was saying, the bots are the ones with underscores. that doesn't seem like an obvious name. So if I saw somebody called Shadow_Killer X, that's not a bot. Somebody's genuinely made that name up and just used underscore. But when they're like some random eel underscore penguin 2, some random word combination, then they're probably a bot. Anyway, that's how we sort of that was the test that we were going by. And also sometimes a bot will stand in the corner of the room, confused, literally like a naughty boy that's been told off and stand in the corner of the room. I had one like that. They got confused. They turned round and just basically stood in the corner of the room, and I shot them. Easiest kill. Anyway, have a go. That's what I'd say. Have a go. Let me know in the chat if you do. You always check me out if I'm playing. I played with somebody today. I wasn't sure it was another Stadia player today. They sent me an invite. It was amazing. I think it was amazing. In the chat. Out of the new games coming to Stadia this year, what are you most looking forward to? Well, I want to see what other EA games. Can I say ones that haven't been announced? So in June, we're going to get announcements of further EA games. So I'd like to see what those are. And obviously, Cyberpunk, I think, goes without saying. And yeah, and say Assassin's Valhalla as well. I haven't played Assassin's, but it looks like I love a good sort of campaign game. And that's it. That wave break looks fun to me. Most of them look into the sky on the floor, but still manage to shoot you. Yeah, I did get I got shot when basically I ran out of bullets and I hadn't checked my gun. Panicked. I think we'll get the Unravel games. Oh. Zero games for. I love the Unravel games. I'm thinking yeah, they were from EA, yeah, and they're EA games as well, indie games. I haven't played Unravel 2, but if you've not played Unravel, to me it has a very similar feel in tone, emotional tone, to Lost Words Beyond the Page. The Gamer Man, hello, how are you doing, man? Always love to see you. Have you played Undertale? No, but my daughter has. They say there is an Rock says they say is an as yet unnamed new IP coming. And therefore, Rock, you're speculating that it could be coming to Stadia. Well, EA tend not to do exclusives. I hasten, they're about getting it on as many platforms as possible. So, Charles Arand, what are your thoughts on Crater? I'm very excited about Crater. I think because it's more, people say, oh, it's like a Minecraft. It's not, no. I think it has, the building aspect of Minecraft and, to Fortnite to a certain degree in terms of style and play, but it's more about creating games. And as we've seen from Dreams, from Little Big Planet, or whatever, when you get a good game that is like a mini platform developer, game platform, development tool is the word I was looking for there, a couple of words, into the hands of gamers, they come up with amazing games. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Because I'm, it's like with Minecraft, I always think, oh, my world's pretty impressive. Look what I've built. And then you go and see someone on YouTube and they've built a ridiculous world full of redstone machines that work all these amazing things. And you just think, oh, perhaps my world wasn't that great. And so you're going to get that with Creator. You're going to get people are going to get amazing games. And if it's got the ability to share those games, I think that's the really exciting thing. Minecraft, yes. Earthbound Gamer 24. Have I played Minecraft? Yes. A lot. When I first got my Xbox One, 2015, I got it for the kids so they could play Minecraft. And at the time, I was thinking, oh, I don't know what, because all the kids were into Minecraft back then. I was thinking, oh, I don't really get, building the blocks. Anyway, once I started playing, yeah, I built a whole town, and all from survival, by the way, not cheating, not creative, only by survival. I had to find everything, build everything, create everything. I built railways, I found lost villages, and then connected them up with massive, massive railways. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, but hours and hours and hours I spent playing Minecraft before swapping to Overwatch, and then spent hours and hours playing Overwatch. Jerome says, I thought the Stadia outfits and parachute were a nice touch in PUBG. Yeah, no, I think it is a really cool touch. Apart from the fact they're bright red. Now, it's fine if for me, I'm sort of red and green colorblind-ish. So to me, it's camouflage. But to people with normal sight, I think we stick out a bit like a sore thumb. Just my opinion, but they're great outfits. And even the frying pan, I love the frying pan's got the Stadia symbol, and as you say, the parachute makes for a great screenshot. I'll give you that. Yeah, but it's a nice touch. I think a nice, it shows that they've sort of, developed it for Stadia, put something in for it. Definitely. I'd like to see Apex Legends though. On it. So actually on that subject, there was a question about So there's a big issue at the moment. Well, it's not a big issue right now. It's been an issue all the time, but I think it's been highlighted in the games press and stuff that in PvP, especially on PC, cheating is rife. It's always been rife on PC. The ability to go in and mod the game or to download mods, into the sort of the game file to give you aimbot or see through walls and all those kind of stuff, has always been an issue in PC. And when you've got a game as big as the Call of Duty franchise at the moment, 50 plus million players on it, the level of cheating starts to have a massive impact. And people have said, well, it might drive people to, to play on Stadia where you can't really cheat because you can't install aimbot. I mean, you could probably get some hardware to do it. Can't really install it because it's all been handled by Google. And then people say, oh yeah, it's cloud gaming, so competitive people wouldn't like that response, too much lag and latency. But of course, the beauty is everybody's in the same place. Everybody's game are on effectively the same servers talking to each other. So if anything, PvP, if everybody's on Stadia, PvP experience would be better, in theory, because the games are talking to each other on Google's own servers using Google's own super magic highway. So I think having, and there was, even Digital Foundry mentioned that the online experience of Red Dead Redemption was better on Stadia, was faster. And it's because, when you're in PvP, you're relying, and I'm sorry for all the technical people there, I get this wrong, but you're relying on people with the lowest common denominator connection. All right, Stadia Mania, it's all right. Don't worry. Better late than never, as they say. Always good to see you. Yeah, you're always relying on the lowest common denominator connection in your party. But of course, on Stadia, if everybody's on Stadia, then there's no outlier in terms of that lowest common denominator, because the game is sitting on the Google servers and they're all talking to each other. So PvP on Stadia is quite good, I would argue, and it makes up. Therefore, so any argument against its latency is made up by the fact that if you're communicating with other Stadia players, that's faster. So it swings and roundabouts. But the beauty is no cheaters. Rock says, I feel Create will be too complex for most players on Stadia. Lua is a full-fledged language still. Why not Inges? I understand that. But yeah. Little Tortilla Boy. Especially since Warzone is free to play on PC. Of course, also appear on Xbox. But it's more difficult to cheat. Exactly. It's more difficult to cheat on the consoles. You can get things for your controller and stuff. And some screens, I think even this screen, not that I ever use it, you could put a crosshair in the center of the screen. But to me, that's effectively cheating. Actually on the screen itself, which is a sort of a mild bit of cheating as far as I'm concerned, so I never do it. But yeah, but I think I could see esports competitions, including PvP, being hosted by Stadia, just Stadia games. Because then everybody's in the same boat in terms of nobody's got an advantage over the other. Nobody's my connection is worse, because effectively everybody's in the same situation, really. It's just the connection to the visual connection is the issue, but the action is taking place in the Google servers. ESO going to make Stadia community great? Yeah, I hope so. It's a big game. As I say, remember when I went through those list of games that still on the Super Saturday, I went through the list of games that still haven't arrived, Gods and Monsters and stuff like that. And who was it earlier? I missed you in the chat. Sorry, you said about Ubisoft. Here we are, Dazadini. Ubisoft have announced an E3-style digital showcase event on July the 12th. Definitely something to look forward to, because we know that Stadia and Ubisoft have this, great working relationship at the moment. So we can expect to see lots of exciting games and reveals there. So that's, I'm looking forward to that if that is the case. And we'll know. So we've got EA's showcase to come, and further announcements in June from Stadia in EA. So we know that's coming. We've got Ubisoft making their announcements. Probably some more. We'll probably say more about Rainbow Quarantine. I'm hoping ESO drops soon, since the next big expansion is pretty close. Well, I think there was a registration for certificate or something for Stadia. I saw it on Twitter today. Somebody in the chat, if you know what I'm talking about, correct me. But I saw some reference to ESO and Stadia on Twitter today. So it may be coming coming soon. Hoping for the heavily delayed Skull and Bones. Was there on Ubisoft, Dazadini, was there not a rumor that had died a death? They showed that in 2019, didn't they? And then it's gone quiet. I'm not, I'm not convinced about Skull and Bones. I mean, you're talking to a pirate legend here. Sea of Thieves. In year one. Grinded my way to pirate legend. So I love a good pirate game. Another game that I've not wasted, but yes, let's be honest, wasted life. No, spent a long time grinding to legend, especially when you're mostly sailing as a solo or duo, is a hard grind. If you ever play Sea of Thieves, get a good crew, and you'll still takes a long time, but you'll manage to get to legend pretty quicker than you would if you're trying to do it solo like I did. Anyway, but Skull and Bones, yeah. I remember the 2019 trailer for that. I think, was it 2019 trailer? And then it went quiet. It looked like it was, coming that year. It looked like it was meant to be coming out in 2019. Let's have a quick look. See if there's any update on Skull and Bones. But that's a good shout, because actually, 2018. 2017 it was announced. Initial release date March 21st is what they're saying. But this was from 2018. Let me just oh look, it's a Stadia advert. Bear with me 1 minute once it starts playing. I will flip it on. Right.
Your hunt for the Condor
Make that bigger
starts
for you
here,
guys.
in your hideout, deep within the Chagos Islands.
Yes. Desadina, I think this is a good shout, you know. If it's not dead,
Then provides everything you need for your next strike.
then we can see this. We'll see this on. I reckon we'll see this on Stadia.
For the upcoming battle.
Now, on the Wikipedia page, it currently says March 21. So it's basically just been kicked into the long grass, effectively.
Next, choose the right crew and gear for the mission ahead.
But yeah,
Cannons are slow loading, but deadly at short range.
it would be interesting. Maybe we should try and contact Ubisoft, or maybe they'll make actually. Yeah, maybe in their showcase they might, if they are.
Loaded. Let's head out.
If they have updated it or we've got updated news on it, we'll see. We'll see this.
Merchants to rob, but also more
Yeah, nothing found with the words binned. I know it's awfully quiet,
according to your intel,
and I don't think there was anything in 2019.
taking advantage of the strong winds.
There she is, with our loot.
That fort is too strong to simply
But we'll see. So if there is going to be anything, they'll mention it. I'm sure they'll mention it in the showcase they've got coming. But definitely, I mean, the relationship Stadia and Ubisoft have,
is another tool in the pirate
I reckon it's a good shout, personally. That's interesting, actually. You know, you've sort of got me thinking about that now, Dazadini. Let me chat. What do you know? You know, what do you think? If you've seen that cross, anybody else? What are your feelings about that Skull and Bones game? Basically, it's well, it's a pirate game, except you just battle on ships, basically. So you just drive around in your ships, and I think there'll be PvP and stuff like that. But you're not playing as a character. You're playing as per se as it's your ship doing the fighting, if that makes sense. Am I making myself sense? So you're controlling the ship and everything and making decisions, but it's the ships that are firing at each other. You know, it's not like Sea of Thieves where you're a character and jump off and dig up treasure and all that kind of stuff. Naval battles, exactly. It does look a lot of fun, and graphically it looks amazing. I mean, there was touches of that in previous Assassin's games as well, wasn't there? Sort of ships and pirates. So it would be interesting, and I reckon, as I say, if it's not been binned, because we talked. What was the other game I talked about on my brain's already gone? Beyond Good and Evil, which I said again. 217. I think it was 2017. It was announced, I think, and then nothing. Maybe 2018. Beyond Good and Evil, and that was, of course, a Jade Redmond game. Jade Redmond. Yeah. That was one of her games. Just tweeted the link. Yeah, it looked exactly JK. It looks like the Assassin's Creed Naval, but they've sort of taken that idea and then built it out and fleshed it out and graphically kind of made it much more of a game. But they've obviously seen that aspect within Assassin's Creed games and thought, wow, this is really cool functionality. I really like this. So yeah. So actually now, Desadine, it was a good shout about Ubisoft's showcase in June, because it will be interesting. So that's two things to look out for. Whatever happened Beyond Good and Evil 2, which was a Jade Raymond game, and Skull and Bones. They're the key things. Let me know if there's any other games we think. The thing about Google. So actually, we're just going to move on to the games. So as I alluded to earlier, I mentioned fact. Wireless controller came. Now this was due. This was the last of the outstanding elements that they were going to deliver in the first quarter. So it wasn't delivered in the first quarter, but the world was a very different place at the beginning of January when they mentioned the roadmap of stuff they would be delivering in the first quarter than it is now. So I'll forgive them that it wasn't delivered by the end of March. we've got it now. So that's one thing off the tick list. So we're due another, maybe another roadmap of features, or maybe Google Stadia will just keep rolling out their features as they do normally. You know, not telling us and just say, oh, it's come out this week. When they announced it, this was available. I looked and it wasn't there, and about an hour later it was. So the wireless controller functionality. So they're pretty quick in rolling it out, especially in, well, certainly in the UK they were. I don't know what it was like in other parts of the world and the US, but it didn't take long, a couple of hours. So we've got, it means that they are on their next next sort of roadmap of hardware delivery. The crowd play aspect, the streaming to YouTube aspect, the family share aspect. Those are the sort of the big text. Maybe that's the 4 big things. Let me know what you think. Oh yeah, Dave Windle says wireless for mobile. Yeah. Okay. That's good. A nice, easy high five, yeah? 5 hardware things that we expect them to roll out now. Okay. Man, I want that wasabi controller. You know, I'm thinking of buying another little tortilla boy. I'm thinking of buying another controller. Think about it, I've had this, and my fear is that this breaks down eventually. I think I'm beginning to feel a kind of a bit of weakness in the where it connects here. So certain games are like, so tense, tensing up. I mean, it's fine, but you know, this is my Founders Edition. I want to preserve it, so I just might get a wasabi one, just so I've got a spare should anything go wrong, and you know, maybe have one for the TV and one for the PC here. A clock. I'm too lazy to find my phone to see what time it is. Just ask your Google Assistant while you're playing. I bet it would work. You press the assistant button. Surely that level of assistant information. Everybody try it. I'll try that later, actually. Hey, you know, press it. Hey, what's it? Hey, doodle do. Say the, because you know what happens every time I do a show. Google butts in. Cyberpunk. That's what I'm talking about. He just butted in. Thank you, Google. Nothing. Unbelievable. No. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, stop. Yeah. Mariko, did I kick your Google off? Sorry about that. Yeah, so did anybody see, those that are familiar with the channel and come in on a regular basis will also know that I'm probably seeing him in other chats as well. Resurrector, I've not seen him tonight. But did anybody see, and if you know who Resurrector is, and he's on Twitter and he's Stadia, and he's always in the chats, so he visits my chats and stuff like that. It's not rude. Oh. Liam, no, I don't think they will. I think that in terms of the will they roll out Xbox controller on Chromecast Ultra? No, I think that's the sort of the premium way to play Stadia is via Chromecast Ultra with a Chromecast controller, and I think they'll want to preserve that aspect of it. So you know, you either have Stadia, but if you want to upgrade to like premium, you know, Stadia Pro effectively, then that's the experience you're going to get. And you pay for the controller and you pay for your subscription, and you have the premium experience. That's the way I think that works. It will stick. But anyway, talking of controllers, I don't know if anybody's seen. You should check it out. Resurrector mocked up a Assassin's Creed Valhalla controller, and it looked absolutely amazing. I saw it really early on when it was just a mock-up graphic, but he's obviously The boy's got the skills. You should check it out. And he posted it on Reddit. It got about 1,000 likes or whatever. Don't know, whatever. Amazing. And it was on Twitter, and everybody's saying, "Wow, it looks absolutely amazing." And somebody from Google Stadia liked his tweet with his picture, forwarded it to the head of marketing at Ubisoft, and said, "Can we do something about this?" Resurrector is, a Stadia fan, like many of us, who's obviously, good with his graphics and stuff like that. Decided that he'd mock this thing up, and wow, it looked amazing. And there now looks like, so Google has basically contacted the head of marketing at Ubisoft and said, "Is there something we can do here?" If they end up producing that, I just think that's absolute amazing, because it looks so professionally designed. I mean, he's probably a professional designer. I mean, what's the difference between a designer and a professional designer? Just somebody who gets paid. But if you're really good at design, and clearly Resurrector is, if you're listening, if you watch this later, Resurrector, not trying to blow smoke up your butt, but it was really impressive. Check it out. I'll try and find a link for it, and I'll put it in the link. But if anybody can, just share the link to it. It is an amazing looking themed Stadia controller that he's mocked up, and is good. Maybe it could be that now Google Stadia have sort of put him in touch, I think, with or at least contacted Ubisoft about what they can do with it. You never know, but I think it would be also amazing. But it's not the only one he's done. He's done a cyberpunk one as well, which looks equally impressive. He should get signed up. Stadia should give him a gig, personally. Rock says he's got a talented sister too. Yes, she's a singer. I listened to that track that he shared. Yeah, she's a good singer. It's good. It's sort of a chill, indie chill kind of jazz vibe to it. Soul vibe to it. It's good. Yeah, it is, little tortilla boy. It is awesome for him. Absolutely awesome. And I hope something good comes of it. The guy deserves it. I mean, a talent like that shouldn't just be wasted. He should get the benefit of that. Jerome said, "I bought 2 controllers just in case. I'm glad I did." Yeah. Random Noob, yes, says, "No, not on the Ultra. It lacks the hardware." Yeah, that's the point. The point is that this, unlike an Xbox controller. Oh, going out of focus there. Hello. Unlike an Xbox controller, this has got this is Wi-Fi built into it, so it communicates directly with the Wi-Fi. Good point, Random Noob. Wasn't thinking there. Xbox controllers, well, other controllers can't do that, so that's the main. It won't Chromecast Ultra. Rock, you didn't know which story? You didn't know that about? You didn't know about Resurrector? Yeah, check the tweets out. Sure, I think it was the guy from Google contacted the Ubisoft marketing manager, senior marketing manager. The PGA Tour 2K21 coming to Stadia. Was that confirmed, Gamer Man? I think there was a rumor that it was. Golf, yeah. My experience of golf games is Mario Golf. I'll just leave it at that, which is a great game. Oh, that's another game I could bring to Generation X Gaming Club. Oh. Mario Golf is such a good game. Mario Tennis. But Mario Golf, I love Mario Golf. On the N64. What a great game. The little tortilla boy says, yeah, it is. It was so cool. And you play, when you played co-op, I could see, something like that. May the 14th, we'll see if it's coming to Stadia. Yeah, so that's not long to wait then, this week. Jerome says it is. Yeah. I wasn't sure, Jerome, whether are you saying it is an awesome game, or are you saying that PGA Tour to 2021 is coming? Everybody's Golf. Know that one, Beanie. I was yeah, I was a Mario Golf player myself back in the day. Yes, Mario. Yes, it is an awesome game. Yes. Yeah, we could do with a golf game. The thing with the Mario Golf was there's a nice 4-player, you co-op stuff, and you know it's fun, competitive, like the Mario races and the Mario tennis games. It's like it's fun, and there's good things to be had there. Get Packed. Somebody, sorry, Mariko mentioned Get Packed. Not played it yet. As I said earlier, there's so many games that now occupy my time, and I know it's quite cheap to buy. But let me know, chat, who's played Get Packed? Is it enjoyable? Little Tortilla Boy says he hasn't picked it up yet. No, I haven't. See, normally when there was less games, I was more inclined to pick these things up and buy them, especially if they were like sub 20 quid. I'd definitely do it, but I'm so busy playing, these other games that, the same with, I haven't, see, Red Dead 2, I missed the last sale, and now it's on Xbox Games Pass, and I'm tempted to at least maybe try it on that. I'm not sure. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey, definitely I'm going to buy it. Just not right yet, but I'm definitely going to get that for a nice little campaign thing. Get in the spirit. It's a long time since I played the Assassin. I mean, like, I'm talking early Assassins, like almost the first Assassin. Am I meddling up with Prince of Persia? It's a great game. Same sort of thing, sort of parkour type style game. David Widnall says, played a few games of Monopoly with the family. Yeah, I did. I played with my daughter and a bot. I said to her, do you want to play Monopoly? She was a little bit disappointed I didn't get the board out of the cupboard, and I said to her, this is much tidier. But she was, oh. But we had fun, and she won, so that helped. Christopher Torres says, busy with Division. I haven't played Division 2 for a while. I was playing a lot of it before. Then Zombie Army came along, and I was in a competitive streak with Mariko on the old Destiny 2. So I got sucked back into Destiny 2 on that. We were sort of seeing who can get the highest level on Destiny 2. She's winning at the moment. I'm letting her take it away now. Borderlands 3. I haven't played. Played a lot of Borderlands 2 on the Xbox. Again, Doom. Oh yes, I haven't played Doom for a while. See, I'm already getting that stage where the games I've not played for a while. Like I said earlier, it's a good place. It's a good place for Stadia to be. I mean, it's early days, as I said before. We know we're still only 6 months old, but we're getting there. I haven't played any multiplayer on Division 2 yet. I need to do that. The same with the zombie game. Play a bit more multiplayer. Anybody else played? Anyway, let me know. And who's been playing Get Packed? And is it worth it? Or is it sort of a game you definitely need to sort of play with a bunch of you? It looks like that kind of game. Yeah, exactly. A backlog. And as long as they keep, we're at that stage where you've got a backlog and then new games keep coming in, and so it stays fresh. That's the main thing. As long as it stays fresh, and there's games, you don't have to like every game, you don't have to play every game, but as long as you enjoy it. Yeah, exactly. The point is, like I always say about, it's like, if you're a billionaire, does it really make any difference if you're you've got £1 billion in the bank or £2 billion in the bank? It doesn't really make any difference, does it? Once you get to a certain threshold, it doesn't matter. I'm sure we'd all like to be a billionaire twice over. But you get the point. The point is, if you get enough stuff, enough games, you hit a threshold where you just don't have. You've got plenty of choice. You can have too much choice. You don't have enough time to play them all anyway. So, you know, it's all great having a massive library. I mean, you know, PlayStation got a massive, massive library, but really as percentage of games that are actually played on a regular basis, it's probably that old, you know, probably only 20% of the games are regularly played by people. I say 20% because it's that old Pareto principle of 80-20. Most things in life split out like that. So yeah, but no. Then in the library is, as I say, that's not to say no way should Stadia, you know, and they're not going to rest on their laurels. Keep bringing the games. They will keep bringing the games. We know they will. More announcements will be made. We know that the hardware, you know, constantly upgraded and little software upgrades in the background and rolled out in the way that only Google does, which is great. So just drop it. Oh yeah, by the way, is a major upgrade. Did we not mention it? But yeah. But anyway, there we go. Wow. Hour and a half we've been on now. I think we can call it a day there, unless everybody's got any major questions. Crystal Torres is busy playing zombies. Yeah, Zombie Army's great. I passed on Get Packed for now. I have such a huge backlog yet. Random noob. We'll see. You know, Get Packed could end up being a pro game. But definitely, you know, Star Wars will be good on Stadia. Yeah. Actually, so who asked me earlier about games looking forward to? I completely forgot that. Jedi Fallen. Because it has the same vibe as a sort of a Lara Croft, oddly enough, in the way that there's sort of a bit of platforming, a bit of fighting, but all set in a Star Wars universe. Hello. What more do you need? You know, it's basically a story driven. So unlike Star Wars Battlefront or not Battlefront, Battlefield. When it start with, yeah, it's more a story campaign game, which is my cup of tea. Jerome says, got to finish Stream Quest. Yeah, I finished Guilt. Finished Lost Words. They're all short games, really. Generation 2, oh my god. Gen 2, oh my god. We're talking Generation 2 Stadia. Oh my god, yeah. Anyway, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, a bit more random than normal, but I wanted to share some games. Command and Conquer. Old school. Random noob. Old school. I was never into those PC strategy games. Project Storm says, you're right about the threshold. My backlog is already insane on multiple platforms. Yeah. Gamer Man, you keep putting those things in, and I don't want to show it. Oops. Oh, yeah, I see where. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for that, Gamer Man. Sorry, I didn't read it because it had to hide. It came up as a spam thing, but it's cool. Yeah. If you know, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Definitely do that. And definitely hit the likes as everybody has. That's great. Thank you very much. We love it. And thank you for that, Gamer Man. You're acting as my sort of mod there. Thank you very much. Jerome says, Zombie Army 4 was a really good, what a surprise. It's got a great style to it. I love the old cinema style, the 1950s cinema style posters between the chapters. Like you're, you know, an old B movie or something, a horror B movie. Posters, and then the sort of the blood and guts of the zombie killings that, you know, lend a sort of a hint of the old Doom Eternal there in the style. And it's great. You know, I just love those. It's a campaign. You go through the stories. I've not played, not played the multiplayer bit yet, so it is great. Yeah. All right, chat. Well, that's it. We are good. Yeah. F for dead. Yeah, L for D. Yeah. Uplay still to come. Exactly. Maybe that's an announcement, because obviously I know it's this. It's up to Ubisoft to announce that they are making, like a publisher announcing a game is available. If a game service or a subscription service, it belongs to the publisher, is available on Stadia, then that could be something that they are going to mention at the Ubisoft showcase. Project I did with Doom. Yeah. I need you guys are reminding me. I've been so obsessed with PUBG over this weekend, and then Zombie Army 4, that I need to go back and start playing some of those other games. And I'm going to be streaming more. I mean, by the way, everybody, if you haven't checked out my Lord Kenzel of Stadia channel, then do me a massive favor. Let me just give you a link. Do me a massive favor. I'm looking on the wrong computer. Oh no, I'm on the right computer. It's okay. I'm working two computers here because that's the way I roll, man. Do me a massive favor. Oh, calm down. I'm in a panic trying to do it quickly, guys. I apologize. Bear with me here. I'm just trying to get a link for you guys. Okay. Do me a massive favor, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for that, gamer man. I wouldn't say I was awesome, but I had fun. That's Lord Kenzel of Stadia. That's me. Get yourself over there. Make sure you subscribe to that. As I say, I did 19 hours of PUBG, streaming that over the weekend. And now I know, thanks to my lovely new computer, that the streaming works really well. It works a dream. It looks great. Make sure you subscribe to that. If you're new to here, make sure you subscribe to that this channel, of course, as well. Thank you so much, everybody turned up today. It was good to see everybody in the house. I really appreciate it. Special thanks to everybody who left a super chat. Really, really appreciate that. It really helps the channel and all of that. So thank you. And don't forget, everybody, tomorrow night, Generation X Retro Gaming Club, as we now call it, the Generation X Retro Gaming Club with me and Stadia Rocks, where we're going to be talking very briefly all the general gaming news, not Stadia related necessarily, unless it's, in the main gaming news. But more importantly, taking a regular trip down nostalgia lane. And anybody who's seen the show will know that there's some nice little gems that we uncover, and it sparks some really interesting conversation and ideas. Old school games, right back from, ZX81 to first PlayStation 1 games and N64 games, the whole gamut. It's all there. Mega Drive. So definitely check us out tomorrow night on the Generation X Gaming Club. And I'd hasten to add, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Lord Kenzel. Make sure you subscribe to Generation X. I'm going to put that in there as well for you, so that you can do that before you leave. And on that note, I'll just say, let me just go to get the link for you. Do me a favor. Check out the Generation X Gamer Club. Make sure you subscribe to that. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending time with me this evening. I'm going to be back next week. Well, please do me the massive favor of joining me again. I hope you enjoyed that show. I certainly enjoyed it. It's been fun just sort of freewheeling a bit, going through the game releases and stuff like that, and just having a general chat with the chat, as they say. On that note, farewell.